All right, ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, we are going to be talking about Borderlands 4. Now, there are a lot of drama. There is a lot of nonsense that has happened regarding Borderlands 4, and almost all of it has come from Randy Pitchford, obviously the CEO of Gearbox. But the simple truth is that Borderlands 4, regardless of whether or not it comes out completely unoptimized, which I've always been saying it probably is going to, or the fact that it comes out to be completely broken, which there's a good chance that's probably going to happen too. At the end of the day, I do think it's going to sell no matter what, but that doesn't mean we can't make fun of their absolute lack of professionalism by trying to cope and seethe. Now, what do I mean? So I saw this post by Pirate Nation, and it says Borderlands 4 performance optimization is poor. At 549, with RTX 4080 and frame generation on, it achieves 60 to 70 FPS. Without frame generation, it drops to 30 FPS. The game also stutters and freezes per a YouTuber with early access. Now, this YouTuber, we are going to watch his video in 1 minute, so stick around for that. But I want to switch over really quick to an article from PC Gamer, because after I saw that post from Pirate Nation, I wanted to dive a little bit more into it and find out where exactly this is coming from and if they said anything about it. Well, apparently they have. Gearbox boss himself, Randy Pitchford, has said that even though there is a day one patch, there's a day one patch for this game, so that's how you know it's going to be broken as shit. Even with the day one patch, that people and players should have realistic expectations about the performance of the game, and that older hardware may not provide buttery smooth performance right out the gate. Now, guys, listen, I understand that there are people out there that try to make their older rigs go as far as humanly possible. I totally get that. But lately, the performance issues, especially for Unreal Engine 5 video games, have been from high tier systems. You've had 5090s, 4090s that are struggling with some games, and they're having issues with lag. Like Metal Gear Solid Delta was a prime example of one of them. Even with my 4090 and 128 gigs of RAM, there are moments in Delta on my stream, you can see clear as day, where I was having lag, and I couldn't believe my eyes. So Unreal Engine, unfortunately, is a system that, well, it's not exactly very well optimized, and the developers that utilize it, they don't know how to optimize their games very well either. They're either too lazy, or they probably don't have experience with the system. Whatever the excuse may be, it's still partially their fault. So it says that even though Borderlands is a few days away, here's the full rundown of the global release time. And Randy Pitchford has confirmed, in what should come as absolutely no surprise to anyone, that there will be a day one patch with the game. He says it does a lot, the Gearbox boss promised, but it's not going to work miracles. And he said players with low-end PCs should have realistic expectations for how the game would run on their rigs. The expectation for using a below minimum spec machine should be that the game is unplayable, Pitchford said on X in response to a player of a preview build who was struggling with performance. It's a big, bold, new, seamless world, and I'm sorry to say that older hardware may not provide buttery smooth performance for the latest gen AAA games, and has always been the case since the dawn of PC gaming. Well, that's a little bit of a gaslight, but anyway, we're going to let him rock. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to check out the video from the YouTuber that Pirate Nation ended up posting, and we're going to see exactly from him what is going on with the game, because he has a full breakdown. There's a little subsection of his video dedicated to performance. Let's watch this video and see exactly what's going on. All right, here we go.
Now let's take a turn and talk about performance, because it is a bit ropey at the moment. On our RTX 4080 rigs and i7 CPUs, frame rates were solid enough, around 60 to 70 in cluttered combat moments and boss fights with frame gen on. Without it, it dips down to 30 to 40. But honestly, it's completely playable, and since with frame gen you have over 60 pretty much all of the time, it feels great. The bigger issue, though, is stuff.
Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, a 4080 is not a low-tier graphics card, all right? A 4080 is a pretty damn good graphics card, right? So it should be able to handle this game much better than 30 FPS with frame gen off. And the fact that it needs frame gen to hit 60 FPS on a 4080, and I don't even know what settings he was playing on. He doesn't seem to mention, maybe he mentions it later on in the video, but he doesn't seem to mention what settings he was playing on. All he says is he had frame gen on and off. So I'm a little bit suspicious. And keep in mind, guys, this is a video game that is cell shaded. It's not exactly the most hardcore graphical video game out there. And yet during some, major combat scenarios, you're rocking around 60 FPS with frame gen on in a 4080. What's everybody else going to do that doesn't have a 4080? You might as well just say they're screwed at this point.
Moving through areas quickly often causes hitches and brief freezes, which really breaks up the flow of things. Supposedly, this is going to be fixed in the day one patch, and to be fair, the stability itself is excellent. Neither of us have had a...
So the game stutters massively, but supposedly it's going to be fixed in the day one patch. Okay. I guess we'll have to see that.
Single crash so far, but still the stuttering is something that really needs addressing. Another co-op issue we ran into is that if you're not the party...
Oh, so according to the comments of this video, apparently he is playing this game on medium settings. On mediums, you gotta be kidding me, bro. On medium settings, he's playing this game. Medium settings, frame gen on 4080 graphics card, and he's at 60 FPS. I don't know, bro. I think that is a highly unoptimized video game at this point, in my opinion. Highly, highly unoptimized. If that's the numbers that you're getting with medium settings and frame gen on, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what resolution he's playing at. It's probably 1080p. I highly doubt he's playing at 4K. So that's gonna be interesting.
Leader, sometimes your bullets just don't connect to enemies. In the middle of a fight, that can be incredibly frustrating, so hopefully it's something that Gearbox is aware of and working on. On the other side of things, I play on mouse and keyboard, while 2.6 plays on controller. And I want to point out that the default sensitivity on the mouse was weirdly high. I had to lower it by a whole 20% across the board to make it feel normal, and that's unusual for me because I basically never adjust my sensitivity settings in any...
Am I the only one watching this video and looking at the graphics and telling myself that this shit has barely changed from the first Borderlands? How is it that this game is struggling this much to run on modern hardware when the graphics are barely better than the first couple of Borderlands from what I remember? Maybe not the first one, but goddamn, man, you can't tell me this is a massive upgrade from like Borderlands 2 or 3. I feel like I feel like I'm looking at literally game. If somebody told me this was gameplay for Borderlands 2 or 3, like a DLC, I would believe them. That's how similar the graphics look. So why are we struggling exactly? I don't get it.
Game, and my mouse is always set to my specific DPI. It's not a deal breaker, but it's just worth flagging if mouse and keyboard players feel it's a bit off. Now, overall, Borderlands 4 is shaping up to be the most fun I've had with the series since Borderlands 2. The expanded builds, the smoother combat, better loot variety, and...
Why am I not surprised that our early access reviewer is mentioning how much fun they had with this game and then compared it to Borderlands 2? The one game that they know everybody wants to hear as a Borderlands fan, almost as if it's all preordained.
The more alive world really captures that sense of discovery. The mission here was fun, the boss felt really engaging, and the co-op is super easy to jump into. But the technical issues are a real hindrance right now, and whether that gets fixed will really make or break it for a lot of people's experience. Still, from what I've played so far, the core gameplay is really strong and engaging. We'll need way more hours in the endgame to know how it holds up, but my impressions in the context of this mission is that it's very promising. So that's it for our preview of Borderlands 4. We'll have more coverage and a full review.
It's crazy. I'm literally watching little lag spikes as he's recording gameplay. During that explosion right there, there was a little bit of a lag spike from the explosion.
So that's it for our preview of Borderlands 4.
We'll have right there, like insane, bro. I saw the frame dips. This is crazy stuff. At this point, I think it's safe to say that Borderlands 4 might be a little cooked on the performance aspect of things. It's pretty obvious that it's suffering from every other same issue that modern day developers have, which is providing a product that unfortunately doesn't run well at launch, and it's never going to for a couple of months. They're going to fix, and eventually it'll get to something stable, but it's just another situation in AAA gaming. So at this point, now I can understand and see why Randy Pitchford was coping and seething and trying to get ahead of what people were going to say about the game. This is why he is telling people in interviews to have realistic expectations when it comes to performance, because he knows that this game is going to cook a lot of people's rigs. And why is that? I have no idea, considering it looks exactly like Borderlands 3 graphically. So you guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about this entire situation regarding Borderlands 4? Are you going to be playing Borderlands 4? Are you going to pick up the game? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, consider hitting that like and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next one.